Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here on a Piney podcast. Um, this is going to be a short one, hopefully. 350 some odd new cases. Tyrant Phil Murphy pushing the mask on everybody, even outside. Um, and the only thing really going on in South Jersey is this article. Now, I don't know if you can see the names. I didn't want to show the kids because this is an article about kids who are becoming activists for Black Lives Matter. And I think and this is just my personal opinion, I think they're too young to be politically active. Okay. So this is sort of a cutesy, nice article about, oh, young people are doing it themselves. And this has been going on for decades. And this is mostly a left leaning thing. Um, I won't say the names of the kids. So and so attended protest organized by her father as a toddler, so her desire to spark change and fight against racial injustice runs deep. Now 14, this person was a co organizer along with her best friend of a Black Lives Matter youth march and protest in their hometown of, I won't even say that. I don't know if you can read it, but uh, I think 14 is far too young to be making political statements. But that's not on her. I think it's these media outlets that are taking her seriously that are the ones to blame. Um, she and her friend are young African Americans, and to some extent, it makes sense that they would support a group called Black Lives Matter because on its surface, it sounds good. Black Lives Matter. Whoa, you don't think Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter. Um, but listen to the quotes. My friend called me and she was sending me videos and stuff, and she said, let's do a protest. And I agreed with her, and I added my dad to the call, and he was just helping us. I was on Instagram, and I just kept seeing all the videos. Our town is a small town, and I just figured nobody was going to do it, so I figured we could do it. I'm leaving out the town. I'm adjusting the quote. Um, you know, and granted, it was a peaceful protest, but these young girls, in my view, don't know enough to really formulate a sensible position on this issue. Police brutality is a complex issue. It's very complex. And to start a movement of Black Lives Matter, as I stated in previous videos, if you go to the Black Lives Matter website and click on where your money's going to, you click on the donation, it says it's going through Act Blue. If you go to Act Blue's site, this is an app for the Democratic Party. And there's also campaign finance law in the terms and conditions of the donation page. So, how much of the Black Lives Matter money is going to the Democratic Party? The Democratic Party is not Black Lives Matter. And I don't think these girls understand what they're protesting. They don't understand that Black Lives Matter, or at least part of it, there's talk about the original Black Lives Matter, another Black Lives Matter, and then the Black Lives Matter that's the one everybody's donating to. Do they know that they are essentially flacking for Joe Biden? Do they understand that? How angry are they going to be once they do understand that? And will the Courier Post, our local paper, cover that when they finally find out and feel like they've been ripped off? I doubt it. I doubt it a lot. The Democratic Party is not fighting for racial justice, in my view. They never have. They have never done it. Maybe you could point to some moments in the Civil Rights March, but that would be a little hard to do considering that the segregationists in the South were all Democrats. The Civil War was won by a Republican. The slaves were freed by a Republican. They all became Democrats in the South. Well, the people who were angry became Democrats, and a lot of them were super racist. Super racist. The Democratic Party has not dealt with that history at all. And in fact, it goes all the way up to today because Hillary Clinton's mentor is Robert Byrd, the late senator. Robert Byrd was a member of the KKK and was a senator in his southern state for years. Is that the party these young girls should be working for and donating to? Donating their time and effort? What the hell are these people letting them do? What is their reaction going to be when they finally figure this out? And they will figure it out. They're not stupid. They're just young. Why aren't their teachers telling them this? Why is this newspaper covering them? Like a 14-year-old has the depth and education and background to know. They're talking about videos on Instagram. That's what 14-year-old, 17-year-old girls talk about. They sound like they're caught up in a trend. This isn't right. Look, I understand. People are upset about George Floyd. But this movement is no longer about George Floyd. If it ever was. Until this movement, forget about fixing the movement. What needs to happen is there needs to be a new movement. One that isn't tied to the Democratic Party or weird Marxists and their wacky ideas. There are groups like that. Where are their newspaper articles? Not many. There aren't many. I think this is sad. And that, these young women are getting caught up in this, and everybody's just caught up in because of the name, Black Lives Matter. Just because you call something a good sounding name doesn't mean it's good. Black Lives Matter is funneling their money to the Democratic Party. That's not right. People think they're donating to help black lives. They're being pressured to donate for racial justice, not to get Joe Biden elected.